I'm working in the New Perspectives Microsoft Access 2010 textbook. I'm picking up on page AC89, Tutorial 2. This is the fourth video in a series. The 3 prior videos take you through the first part of Tutorial 2. We're being asked to add data to a table by importing a text file. We created the table in the last segment, and at the end of the segment I did instruct you to make sure that you followed the remainder of the steps up to page 88 so that your fields were correct and in the correct order, and that you added the first 2 records. So we have customer ID, company, first name, last name, address, city, state, zip, email. To look at that in design view, again, customer ID, company, first, last, phone, address, city, state, zip. And we can see the captions have been removed from the fields that have one name, one word in their field name. And we've added captions where we might need them. Where last may be a little bit confusing, so we make sure that our user knows that last means last name and we're to enter the contact's last name. So now I want to make sure this table is closed, and I'm going to import a text file. So I'll click on External Data, and I'll find Text File in my Import and Link group. And again, by clicking Text File, it's automatically going to be looking for files that have a text file extension. So I'll browse out to see what I can find. Here's customer.txt, or TXT. Yes, let's get that straight. I'll make sure it's selected. Open. I'm going to append a copy of the records to the table Customer. Make sure that the correct table is selected. And I'll click OK. And it's going to walk me through. We can see that we're looking at a comma delimited file. How do I know that? I see the commas. Where you see comma, 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 then we come down here and now we have 1 comma. What these 2 commas mean is that there's no company name. So when I click Next, you'll be able to see that. See how now it's been divided into columns. It makes it easier to see. I'll get to go back. You see there's a comma, nothing, and a comma. When I come forward, we see that because there is no company name, the 2 commas still have to be there, or the fields would all move over to the left and screw up my data when I do the import. Click Next. It's going to import to the customer table. Click Finish. Hopefully everything will work fine here, and I'll end up with those records inside of my customer table. I don't need to save these steps unless this is something I'm going to be doing on a regular basis. Close. Let's take a look at the customer table. According to our textbook, we should end up with 40 records. I ended up with 40 records, and I see no paste errors table in my navigation. Now I'm going to resize these and just take a look. That looks fine. The names look fine. And we'll go over to the address, and I'll resize the address. You could select all of them and resize them at one time, but because I'm working in such a small window and Access resizes to the current view, I have to actually resize them one at a time. So that's looking good, and I'll go over and take a look at the email. And that's looking good. And since I made changes to the design of the table, I'll need to make sure that I save, and I'll close. So we've created in the first 4 segments all 3 of the tables that we need. In the segment to follow, we're going to set up referential integrity and create the relationships between these, or among these 3 tables that we've created. That's the end of this segment.